Okay, well, a big welcome to a lovely lady, Tiina-Maija Bergman. Very excited to be chatting to you today. Tiina-Maija is what I like to call a holistic mind practitioner. Health practitioner is probably a better way of putting it, not just mind. I do yoga as well. So a holistic health practitioner, and I'm very excited to have you on the call and get straight into it, and let's ask you some questions. Are you up for that?
Sure, absolutely. Pleasure.
Well, let's get to know you a little bit better. If you could sort of tell us where you're from, where you were born, a little bit of your history from that time to when you were probably going to university or college.
Okay, so I am originally from Finland, and I grew up in a regular working class, middle class household, an only child, and grew up with a family that like being physically reasonably fit was a very high value. So I grew up in a home where we'd always go for a long walk after a weekend lunch, things like that, a lot of cycling, a lot of moving. And so that sort of physical exercise has always been a very big part of who I am and what I am. And back in the day, I also really translated in being healthy into being physically fit, and that was all. And yeah, then since '95 is when I've lived in Middle East, originally in Egypt, and then later here in UAE from 2003.
Wow. So what brought you to the UAE or the Middle East?
I'm a hospitality professional by my first education, and work in hotels was what attracted me to that education, in that it sounded international. It sounded something that would allow me to travel for work. I've always had that little bit of adventurous streak in me that I'd love to see elsewhere. Not that I wasn't happy where I was, but just knowing that Finland is a very, very small country, and certainly in my childhood years before EU and all that, it was quite insulated.
Right.
And I was aware that there was so much beyond the borders and different languages and you just had no other sociability. So I wanted to go out there and see the world, and then somehow here is where I ended up in my first permanent jobs, or like not part-time jobs.
So then you're part of the hotel industry. Can you give us a brief sort of description of what you were doing and the toll that might have taken on you? Because I believe it's quite a stressful environment, long hours and all the rest.
Yeah, talk about 24/7. We're not saving lives, but it still is 24/7. So interestingly, my very first job in Egypt was as recreation manager. So I was in that role, funny enough, and that was 26 years ago. I was combining my love for fitness and my love for the industry. So that was kind of cool. You're just having a realization as we speak now. And that was my first 18 months in working in Egypt in hospitality. And jumping a few years forward from that time, I then joined my lifelong dream work company, Intercontinental Hotels Group. And there I joined the regional, Middle East regional office. And that's when I think the harsh reality of what it is when you're in a career tube and have high aspirations and wishes for your own career progression, how that starts to take a toll. And that's where the long hours, the hard work became very much my reality. And for a number of years, it was just, I was so focused on that, what's the next step in the ladder of my career progression. And I really wanted to get to a senior executive level, because I looked at my colleagues who were far senior to me, and I really aspired to have what looked like a really glamorous lifestyle and all those big important titles and a lot of work travel, which was so cool and something exotic. And eventually, after many years of working hard, I got to that point. And that was then in 2006, I think I really started to feel the toll, sort of really realize, well, no, have to backtrack a few more years. I started my energy healing work journey in 2003. And that's when I really started to like connect some dots inside of me that, oh, maybe the chronic migraine isn't so chronic, that maybe I can actually do something about that. And or maybe just because I'm always tired, it doesn't mean that if only I could sleep more, but that's actually the body giving me some signals that perhaps I've reached my peak and gone way past it and not really realized. And slowly started to sort of understand and hear all the various signals that my body was sending me constantly. And I used to just go, let's take an aspirin to get that migraine stay away until when I can crash at home for 24 hours. And that's really it was 3 to 4 years evolution for me to really start to understand that there are signs that the body is giving me, and the signs are not going away unless I actually change something about my life and lifestyle.
So is that what actually led you on to being on the mindful path, learning loads about it, but then also wanting to teach? Is that what led you on to this profession?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, yes, it really did. And it was like so if I put some really significant milestone on that part of my life journey to place, it's the starting point was the 2003 first Reiki qualifications. Then came after, in 2005, my first exposure to neuro-linguistic programming, where we do a lot of work in understanding the differences between our conscious mind and our unconscious mind, and how much the unconscious mind is the one that kind of gives us the programming by which we live our lives. And my first course that my work at the time sent me to was run by a lady who then became my NLP teacher, Carol Talbot. And wow, that weekend course, it like blew my mind open when I realized, the very set, rigid programming that I was running up to that point myself and my life with. And I thought, like, all I could do is laugh and look at myself like, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then from there, it was kind of a fast train onto really looking for ways, how can I shift what I'm doing professionally to really do something that I find much more meaning in. Right. And that then is the rest is history, as the saying goes. That's from where it all really began.
So how many years, I know that you've done various courses and trainings and qualifications, but from 2003 when it started to now, have you been, obviously you had to learn all of these things, but how long have you actually been teaching and taking on clients and helping people? Because I've chatted to you for a couple of times now and gotten to know you a little bit, and you're all about helping people, which is just fantastic. And it's so nice to actually speak to somebody like that, who's not in it for me, but you really do care about the person on the other side of the phone or other side of the desk. So when did that journey start? When did the teaching start, or the what? It's not teaching, is it? What is it? Therapy, I guess.
Working with people, helping people. Certainly on the healing path, it started then in 2003. Probably really started with other people, because you do a certain learning period just working on yourself. So from 2004 is from when I have started with people and also with pets. I'm a very big dog lover, well, animal lover, but dogs are the close expression to that in my life. So I've also worked with pets extensively. So that's from 2004 onwards.
Wow.
And with the NLP and related sort of workshop environment and coaching is more from 2007 onwards, and then with different emphasis over the years, but it's always been part of what I do, one-to-one coaching, workshop co-facilitation since those years. So
wow.
quite a few years now.
Yeah, loads of experience. It's nowadays on social media, YouTube, you name it. I mean, there are so many people out there doing these sorts of, I'm a mind guru, I'm a lifestyle coach. I think you can do a weekend course now and call yourself a lifestyle coach, which to me is just, it sort of cheapens the whole experience, I'm sure. I have chatted to you. I understand your experience, and I can totally see the value in somebody coming to you with a need, and I'm sure that you would be able to help them see things in a different way, and I'm sure that's what you are all about. But in your own words, why would somebody who has a need, why should they reach out to somebody like yourself, or to you even?
In one-to-one work in particular, so when I say one-to-one, it's typically coaching environment where that would be, or in the healing work, of course, as well. It's very much about really the person-to-person resonance. So if someone clicks with someone, because ultimately it's about trust. For anyone who is quote unquote needing assistance or needing help, it's very important to go to someone who they feel that they can trust.
Right.
And I'm not saying that in order to now next say you can trust me, but it is really for every individual to work out for themselves with whom do they feel comfortable and with whom do they feel somehow aligned with their values and with what they aspire to do with their lives. And for me, if I look at usually in coaching, for the reason that I mentioned, that people get drawn to something about their coach or their really support worker, if you will, on their journey to healing, on their journey to expanding themselves. It seems to be that my clients mostly tend to be people who are really on that something must change journey. And life is a mirror. So that is clearly what has been my life journey, ends up also being the journey of my clients, because that's what I know about. And so for example, say parenting or something family related coaching is something I have very limited experience in, because that's not my focus area. And I don't have kids. So it also, therefore, then it's not that I am not looking to coach parents with children issues, but it's just that that's not in my sort of sphere, and therefore I don't attract that. But anyone who has lifestyle, health, wellness, stress-related projects, that's the journey I have been through myself. I have found the very big realization that just the physical fitness isn't what actually equates to a healthy person. It's always a combination of the mind, emotions, and the body. And I have spent really, 18 years on that journey of discovery and exploration and understanding for myself. And therefore, I have some clues and intuition about what it might be for others as well. And in coaching, it's important to add that coaching is not about giving advice. Coaching is not about someone a client coming to me and me then going, well, you know what you should do is this. That's not coaching, and that's not what my work entails. But it's really about helping the client unlock, unblock, and release whatever it is that is holding them stuck or holding them in that paradigm that they are not feeling fulfilled in, or totally joyful in, or healthy and happy in.
Right, brilliant. Well, that leads me straight on to my next question, which is, as you know, I'm launching Weight Loss Friend, which is a community of people like myself who struggle to lose weight and have been for a number of years. We are a community that are there to support one another. And I'm not going to go into all of that right now, but you are supporting me and the Weight Loss Friend community. Why have you chosen to do this?
Well, James, it's really simply from, I think, the first words that I ever heard you say about what you are launching. And it went something like that you explained the concept that you are starting, and then you said, I'm looking for people who are mind masters. And I remember it was a Zoom environment where we met, and I was immediately like, me, talk to me. And it's not about that I see myself as a mind master. However, I do see myself as someone who has really, like the dots have been connected for me on how important the mind is for what we do and how we do. And I have really experienced that in my own life, and I use it extensively in my work about that. How do we get in touch with those unconscious programmings and all those things that tell us the stories that we totally believe, whether they are true or not? And I really thought, like, wow, you have the right angle in your approach to how you aspire to get results with what you are launching. So I felt really like I have to, if you just let me, I have to be part of it and support the very worthy cause.
Well, thank you very much for that. Yeah, I'm truly excited. I think we can help lots of people and help me. I need the help. I've struggled with weight. I'm now 114 kgs. My goal weight is to get down to 85 kgs in 6 months. I know how to do it. I've never met anybody who is overweight that doesn't know how to lose weight. That's the 6 inches between my ears that just prevent me from getting to that next level. And I have lost a lot of weight in the past, and I felt great. And in fact, I'm down from 130 kgs down to 114, 16 kgs lost. And, wow, now I'm feeling great. But now I look in the mirror again, I'm like, you still got so much to do, and but because I'm feeling semi-okay, my mind's telling me, well, I could afford to have that beer, or I could afford to have that chocolate bar, or that packet of crisps. But in the sort of 2 months prior, I didn't touch it, and I lost 16 kgs within 3 months. And it's just so frustrating. But anyway, that's just me. I'm sure there's so many people out there like me who are going through exactly the same thing. And hopefully our community can help people, even if we can help just a few to reach the goal, that'll be amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be the first one with my hand up and getting to my goal. If you could offer one insight to help someone who is struggling to lose weight, what would that be?
I'd say one is always a challenge. There could be so many. So one question I would suggest to ask myself is, for what purpose am I having the goal of losing X kilos or X pounds? What is the purpose? What is really the driver? And in what is the purpose is, then I have to give you a 1A here, sub question. Like, under that question is, for whom am I doing it? Because if it is anything external that is driving it, I think that my husband thinks that I'm getting fat, and that's why now I have a weight loss goal. It's not going to work.
Right.
It's not going to work. So you need to bring it very close, right here in the mirror to, for me, what is important about this.
Right.
And when you get in touch with that, when we each, for whatever our goal is, get in touch with that, that's a big, big step forward in the right direction.
Yeah. One sort of question before we go, well, I'll leave it with before we go. The big thing about the weight loss friend community is that it really is trying to buddy up with a friend of similar weight, similar age, similar goals, that we can help one another to lose the weight. From your experience in the last 18 years dealing with various people and issues, or not issues, but whatever I've said it, issues.
Okay.
Yeah, I can tell I'm not the mindful person around here. Having an accountability partner, is that something that you would recommend?
Yeah, completely. And also simply the presence of the community, very, very powerful.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you will be having a number of downloadable courses available to our members and our community. I know that you're very kindly offering a free course that everyone can download and help them on their journey. And I know that you will also be available to do one-on-one coaching. So, you know, I'm very excited to have you on board. And Tiina-Maija, thank you for your time today. I'm going to be putting this on YouTube, on all the social media. And, you know, when launch happens, which should be on the 1st of Feb, touch wood, you know what these internet people are like, or these website people are like. But that's the plan. And we're going to kick off and we're going to change lives. So thank you once again for your time. It's been a real delight. And yeah, looking forward to working with you and lots of other people. And let's make this happen.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Thank you, James.
Thank you.